Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is the third episode or third project for my Inspired by Color series. And I have no idea what I'm going to do. I was going to do an art journal page, but then as I began to kind of pull things and look at it, I decided to do a tag. So let's get started. Today I am using a color inspiration palette. Here's the picture. It's number 395 from Volume 2 of the Color Cube. This is by Sarah Renee Clark. There's two of them, and there's over 500. You can see I've been looking at a few and marking a few of these cards inside each one of the cubes. They are just as fun to play with, of course, as the books. It's just a different setup. And so here's the one I've pulled for today. It's card number 395. And then on the back, it gives you the hex colors, which you could look up and kind of get an idea of what's in the mix if you needed to. One of the nice things about this one is that the color swatches on the back, and they give you the name of the color, go to the edge. So you can really kind of put things down and look on top of it. And that's a little different than the book. So this is my inspiration. Steel blue, dark blue, mulberry, blush, raspberry, and black. No gray. No gray this time. I'm going to lay that right there. And so what I'm going to do today, a little different than what I've done in the past, is I'm going to pull all my color from papers and tissues and create just layers and layers on this tag. Now this is a mixed media tag. It's a thick chipboard tag. This particular one is from Prima Marketing, and it comes with a sticky front, but the sticky to me is not sticky enough. And so what I usually do is just pull the sticky layer off and then put a coat of gesso on it. So this has a coat of white gesso on it, so it's not sticky anymore. And I'll show you what I've pulled. So this is rice paper, and it's got, of course, the black, but it's got that steel blue in it. And you can kind of see that steel blue there. Okay. This is a napkin, and I wouldn't use the moose here or deer, whatever that is. But this flower here in the corner also has that dark blue in it. So I think I use that piece. Then I have the raspberries. These are from the Soup Collage books. They're from two different ones. Two of them are from the Birds and one is from the Botanical. This is from the Botanical. And if you look down here at this flower, I've got my mulberry and my blush here in the flower. Then this is from the Birds, and here I've got, up here at this top, I've got that raspberry, or very close. It's a little darker, but that's that raspberry. And there's probably some others here that are kind of close to the raspberry as too. But this particular little guy right here caught my attention. And then I have another sheet from the Bird Collage Soup book, and it's got your mulberry. This bird has the mulberry in it. He's got a lighter blue. Then there's kind of some pieces over here on the side that have a little bit of that color in them through here. So I just pulled this just to kind of see if I wanted to use it or not. It might be a little bright. And then this flower down here also has the colors. There's that raspberry kind of color. So I think that covers most of the colors. Oh, and then I have some smaller pieces here. This has got your steel blue and your dark blue in it and these flowers, which is gorgeous. This has got the blush and the mulberry in it. And then these birds have the raspberry, and it's a little different color than the steel blue, so it's not quite right on the blue. But I have those as well. These are from sticker books where you get the stickers and it shows you what it's going to look like and you put stickers on. And so these are from a sticker book. two different ones, a floral sticker book and a bird sticker book. So that's what I have. I have no idea what I'm going to do beyond that, beyond just pulling some pieces. I won't use all of this. The first thing I want to do is I want to lay this mulberry paper down here, about like that. See, I've got this bird here that got cut, that's cut off, and I don't want him on there, so I may come over here a little further, about like that. There we go. I think that'll work, and that'll get some of that floral in there. I think that'll be really pretty. So let's start there so that can dry. Now we have a layer on the bottom to start with. I'll poke the hole through later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. There we go. Okay. Next, I think what I want to do is another drying time thing. I want to put some texture paste on here. Do a stencil. I'm going to use like maybe some of the postal pieces here. I think that could be fun. And this is a newer stencil. I don't think I've used it yet. So, yeah, okay. Now the question is, do I want to put my stencil in here through white gesso, or do I want to use a color, a modeling paste? Do I want to color the modeling paste? I really did start this thinking, let's not use any paint on this. I don't know that I'll finish off thinking that. I'm going to use Payne's Gray. Oops. That's got a glob in it, so I'll have to be careful. I'm going to use Payne's Gray and this is Prussian blue. It has a little bit of that tone from the steel blue that I think will help to make the dark blue. So let's start with that. Let's see what this does. Okay, that's, ooh, see, that's perfect. All right. It's a little light. A little lighter than we want it to be, but not much. And of course, when I add it to the white of the modeling paste, oh, that's pretty. Okay. So that's Payne's Gray with just a little bit of Prussian blue in it. Okay, and I want to do another one down here. So I'm going to put this here. Okay, let's see if that worked. That one's better. Just a little fun little color down there. Okay, let me wipe this one off. There's a little bit of that dark blue then at the top and the bottom. Kind of messy. Didn't really come through the stencil. This was too thin for me to get it through the stencil cleanly. But it's a texture and it works. So I'm going to go back to the stencil. I'm going to go back to another stencil as a matter of fact. And I am going to go ahead and put some true modeling paste, not mixed, through this one. So let's come back to our modeling paste. I'm just kind of, you know, just creating on the fly here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And I'm going to get some up here. Let's come down here a little. All right, that's, I think, it as far as the paint that I'm going to do this time. It just doesn't, this tag is going to be mostly color through the papers that I use. Okay, now, I really like this blue flower. And I think he has a place on here. So I'm going to cut this out, but I think what I'm going to do is kind of fussy cut it out a little bit. And each layer you do does not have to be perfect. Plainly, you can see that from mine. I really like the idea of this guy being on here. Maybe he even crosses over with the dots. I like that. All right, let's put him on there. Matte medium again. But before I do that, actually, hold on, I'm jumping the gun a little. Maybe, wait a minute, would I prefer him being? Well, let me lay that down and let's dry these. Let's dry this down here. I kind of like it down there. Let's do that. Let's get some matte medium on that. And let's see here. This is delicate. So I'm going to kind of drop it on. And I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot once I drop it on. Come on, you. That's pretty. Okay, let's get some matte medium on top of it. And this napkin, this flower piece is at the edge of a napkin, and you know you've got that, like that imprint. So that's on there, and now you're going to be able to see these dots through that as well. I'm going to go ahead and kind of hit another layer on all of this. I like that. And you can see the polka dots coming through. You see the texture from the polka dots coming through? I like that a lot. So much so that maybe I'll do another flower. Let's see if this piece has another one in our color palette. Yeah, not really. Well, blue is pretty close to the steel blue. So maybe there's a little bit of that up there. Let's try this and see if we like it. I like it. Okay. Now we've focused the attention so far, right, on the blues and the blacks and these darks. So these three, the steel blue, the dark blue, and the black. And that's what we've got on here, plus a little bit of white. Now I want to start thinking about the other pieces. And this little guy, let me cut him out a little bit better. I want him, I think, to be the focal point. But I don't want him, let me see how big he is here real quick. I think I want him to get attached to some sturdy cardstock and then maybe even raise him up a little. Yeah. I think he's the focal point. And he might even sit kind of in the middle. I don't know, but I think he's going to be the focal point. So now that begs the question, do I want some other pieces? I really like this flower too, and I think him near the flower, or the flower behind him, would be really pretty. So I'm going to cut that one out too. And I'm gonna do some fussy cutting here. But before I really fussy cut, yeah, I think that'll be pretty. It kind of goes like that. If that's on there and he's maybe sitting on that, that might be a really nice focal. But before what I want to do is I want to get them on some cardstock. Okay. After I fussy cut my pieces out here, I like things in threes. It's just sort of this magical number when it comes to composition. And so I decided to pull a frame. I used some of my leftover paint with the dark. And now what I'm doing is using Amethyst Mist. And this is Antique Brilliance wax from Prima Marketing, from Art Alchemy, in Amethyst Mist. And it really is a nice match to my mulberry with a little bit of a metally kind of look to it. And so I'm just putting some on my finger. And I'm going through this frame, just no rhyme or reason, just kind of hitting the edges. And then I'll get it heavier in some spots, lighter in others. And it'll just going around both inside and outside edges here. And so that's what I'm doing now. That gets me that flower in that base down there. I like it. I like it. Okay. Now, thinking this comes over here. About like that. Maybe a little lower. Let's go a little lower. And then our bird sits in here somewhere. Let's see, or does the flower go like this? That's better. The flower's behind the bird. That's better. Getting better. Okay, now I want to do some inking before I do anything else. So, pin is bent. I'm going to use black, if I can find it. Here's Black Archival. The first thing I want to do is ink this edge here. And then after I ink it, I'm going to put some of that amethyst on the base down here. I think I'll put some on the white. Let's get some of this amethyst. I still have some over here. I'm going to get some of this amethyst on here. And I'm just going to come in and just kind of hit the edges, the corners. And on white, it's a different color. So we're kind of get a little bit of that there. Let's get a little bit up here. Now I want to decide whether or not I want to put anything else sort of behind the frame. And by that I mean I have these other pieces here that, oops, that's upside down, that might lend themselves well to being in the background. That right there, for example, might be perfect. Or, let's see, there was another one over here. I know this is too bright. It's completely out of the spectrum. But, gosh, if that was just a little whiter, it actually wouldn't be bad. But let's go back to this one and see if I want to put some of this back behind. Give it a little bit more, you know, interest and depth. Get another color in there. And then my bird would be on top. That's actually pretty. Or down here, where we have the green coming through. Don't think I want the green. I really like this. I like this this going on here. And I think that'd look nice. Let's do that. I'm going to put the frame on top of this paper and then cut that out. About like, let's see. I kind of think I want to do, that butterfly won't show. Actually, let's do that. About like that. That ought to work. Make sure that's flowers pushed down. I probably should have inked the edge of that flower before I glued it down, but I didn't. It's okay. Okay, so now we have a tiny bit of this amethyst in the background, which is the mulberry. It's a little more purpley than the mulberry, but that's all right. It's really pretty. We're going to put this guy right here. Let's come down a little, about right that, about like that. And then this little guy is going to go on here, about like that. So I'll be able to protect his delicate little feet. But I am going to raise him up, I think, in the background, just so he doesn't push down. All right, I'm going to glue him on the frame. I'm going to glue down these pieces first. And his feet, because we know those are touching. And his tail, I think. No, actually, let's come in here. And I think his beak. I may be wrong about that. Let's see if that does it. Okay. I'm going to make sure I don't get... There we go. Come down a little bit. Come up a little bit. That's about right. Okay. Now this is going to go here. But before I do that, I'm going to come down actually a little bit. About right there. Before I do that, I want to decide if I want to do anything else. Do I want to put any paper fasteners on here? Of course I do. I always do. Do I want to put any cheesecloth behind it? Do I want to, what other interest do I want to add here? So let's grab a couple of paper fasteners because you know how we love those. Let's get the big ones. I do keep them close at hand. Well, there's one. I'm going to put one on there. You know I'm going to put two. Or what about if there's some... What if this is here? In a little bit. Yep, don't have to convince me. Okay, let's put that there. Let me get my clamp it down. Let's put that right there. And I'm going to squish that down. There we go. Nice. Okay. Yep, love it. Okay, now do we want a little something there? Let's see if I can find another big one of the... Do I have another big... Yep, there's one. And do I have a third one? Of course not. That would be too easy. Yep, I do have a third one. Yay. Okay. Let's see what those look like. If there's one... Let's see. What if there's two up here? No. What if there's one there? And I don't want to cover his foot. Maybe there's one there and there's one there. Does that work for me? Yeah, let's bring him down a little. Okay, let's put that there. And clamp him down. Nice. I like that. I see, I need to clamp this one down a little bit more. Okay. So far, so good. That's about where that's going to go. You know, and by the time I get ring up here, I know what I want to do. One more thing I want to do, I want to put some splatters on here on the background. Just white splatters with some white gesso. Maybe black splatters. Black splatters might be fun. Let's do that. Let's do black splatters. And I'm just going to do a little bit of splats. There. Let's put some down here. And let's put a little bit more right there. I like that. Okay, let's dry that. Okay, now once I put this on, I'm not going to put this all the way on here. I'm going to hang the frame off. But when I hang the frame off, you're going to see this green on the back side, and I don't want you to. So I am going to, what did I do with my, do I have a scrap left over? I do. I have a scrap of this left over. And so I'm going to put a piece of that right down here. That's almost perfect. So let's chop some of that down. I think that just about does it. Okay, here we go. We have a mess on our desk. We've got steel blue, which is this lighter blue back here in the background, back there. And then we've got our dark blue, which is here, and then dark blue down here as well. And then we've got our mulberry, which is over here inside the flower, along with the blush, just a tiny bit of blush, not a lot. A little bit of blush on the bird too, very, very pale. And then we've got our raspberry here also on our bird. And we've got some in the background. We've got some of that blush in the very, very back there, behind the flower back through here. And then black, of course, is, you know, throughout the piece, and black is on our edges. Then our, the topper is really almost a combination of those colors, just like the blue and the mulberry combined into one. But I like it. I think it's a good topper for this. So there we have it. That is our third project in the color series, Inspired by Color. And again, this is card number 395. Here's the image. I don't think I showed that very closely up front. Card number 395 from volume 2 of The Color Cube by Sarah Renee Clark. And I'll put a link below to this website for anybody who's interested. And I'll also link below links to all of the products that I used. Not a ton. I didn't use, because I used the collage soup. I do have I can give you links to the collage soup that I pulled this image and the bird image from, as well as this is Grumbacher, actually, Payne's Gray. Then we had the Finnabar Prussian Blue, which I actually used too much of that and ended up getting myself in trouble. And then I had the Golden High Flow and Indigo, and then black and white gesso, along with, I used Liquitex Matte Medium. So, oh, and let's not forget the Amethyst Magic Antique Brilliance Wax from Finnabar. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you like this cute little tag. And I will be back. Bye-bye.